You are going to grow old. You push the thought away, convinced you'll handle it when the time comes, that you'll adapt gracefully or figure it out on the fly. But you won't. You'll stumble into it blind, just as I did, just as nearly everyone does, utterly unprepared for the quiet, relentless ways your body and your place in the world will change. I'm 85. For 38 years I worked as a hospice nurse, holding hands through final breaths, more times than most people shake hands in a lifetime. I witnessed every kind of ending, peaceful, terrified, angry, resigned. Nothing in those thousands of hours prepared me for being the one lying in the bed, waiting for my own turn. Before you click away to something lighter, let me share what lies ahead. Not to frighten you, but because I desperately wish someone had warned me when I was still strong enough to listen. The first brutal truth: your body literally shrinks, not just in spirit, physically, measurably shrinks. I stood 5 feet 6 inches on my wedding day, eye level with my husband Tommy, feeling perfectly matched. Today I'm barely 5 feet 4 inches. My spine has compressed, vertebrae cartilage has thinned, and I've lost 2.5 inches of height. Doctors rarely mention it in checkups. No brochure warns you that shrinking reduces your literal presence. Less space occupied, less weight, easier to overlook, easier to nudge aside, easier to forget is even there. Last Christmas, my grandson wrapped me in a hug, and I felt fragile, like a bird he might accidentally crush. I used to be the one who steadied others. Now a strong breeze could carry me away. Women lose more height than men. I'm average 3 inches by 80. Measured out, stolen inch by inch. It's not only height. My hands no longer twist open stubborn jars. I can't carry groceries in a single trip anymore. Once I lifted patients, turned bodies, worked 12-hour shifts standing. Now a walk to the mailbox leaves me breathless. Decline arrives in whispers, not crashes. It erodes dignity slowly, persistently, until the body you trusted becomes a stranger. The second brutal truth: you become invisible, not just ignored, literally unseen. Last month at the pharmacy, the young clerk stared straight through me to serve the woman behind me. I stood there, prescription in hand, invisible as furniture. Studies show about 70% of older women feel unseen as they age. The gaze that once noticed you, judged you, desired you, needed you, simply stops. You fade into background scenery, something people step around without registering. You become old, and old is scenery. The third brutal truth: you outlive almost everyone you ever loved. Tommy died 7 years ago. My nursing school friend Patricia left in 2021. My brother in 2018. My Tuesday coffee companion Helen in 2023. The people who knew me when I was young are vanishing. I'm left as the sole keeper of our shared stories. Widowhood hits women hard. Over 40% of those past 65 are widows. Each of us feels utterly alone in it. I was Tommy's wife for 56 years, his caregiver for the final 6 as Parkinson's dismantled him piece by piece. I bathed him, fed him, held him when he no longer knew my name. When he died, I thought the hardest part was over. I was wrong. The hardest part is every night since, reaching across an empty bed, cooking for one, speaking to silence. The fourth brutal truth. Fear of falling dominates everything. I fell in my kitchen in 2022. Simple reach into a cabinet, lost balance, hit the tile, fractured my wrist. Now I fear my own flaw. I think about falling, getting out of bed, showering, stepping onto the porch for mail. Research shows up to 70% of older adults who've fallen live with constant fear, and the fear itself increases risk. You tense, move cautiously, restrict activity, becoming the fragile person you dreaded. I once danced with Tommy in this kitchen. Now I shuffle, one hand always on the counter. The fifth brutal truth. Your children become your parents. I raised 3 kids, changed diapers, soothed fevers, taught driving, funded weddings. Now they watch me with the same worried eyes I once gave patients' families. My son Tom mails assisted living brochures. My daughter Peggy calls at 7:30 every morning to confirm I'm breathing. They love me deeply, but hearing them whisper about me in the next room or taking my car keys, for now, feels like reversal. I spent my life as the strong one, the fixer. Now I'm the problem they solve. The sixth brutal truth. The terror of being a burden never leaves. Nearly half of older parents carry this fear constantly. Every grocery delivery from my daughter, every appointment ride from my son. I calculate the cost in time, money, missed opportunities. I don't want to die, I just wish I needed less. I spent 38 years reassuring dying patients they weren't burdens. I believed it then. It's harder to believe now that I'm the one needing care. The seventh brutal truth. Loneliness isn't about numbers, it's about the night. I have 3 children who call, 6 grandchildren sending photos, 3 great-grandchildren waving on video. I'm not abandoned, yet I'm lonelier than ever. Loneliness lives at 3 a.m. when sleep won't come and no one is there to hear. It's eating dinner with the TV on for voices. It's the moment the lamp flicks off and silence roars. A 90-year-old patient once told me, "The nights are so long now." I didn't understand until Tommy died. Now I do. The nights stretch forever. The eighth brutal truth. Your mind betrays you, and every slip terrifies. Last week I forgot my neighbour's name, 12 years knowing her, and stood frozen on my porch. It returned later, Sharon. But for that hour I feared dementia's beginning. 2 close friends died with it. I held their hands when they no longer knew me. So every forgotten reason for entering a room feels like a warning. I keep a notepad by my bed now, writing everything down, not for convenience, but to prove I'm still here. The ninth brutal truth. You must plan your own ending. I have a living will, DNR order, clear instructions to my children. I chose the blue dress Tommy loved for cremation. I wrote letters for each grandchild to be given after I'm gone. I did this because I saw families fracture in hospice when no one had talked. I don't want guessing. I want no machines, no heroics, just home if possible, ashes in our garden where we sat summer evenings. I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid of prolonged suffering, of forgetting them, of becoming a body instead of a person with a story. There they are, 9 harsh realities of being 85 and female in a world that has mostly looked away. I'm not sharing this to depress you. You're heading here someday. Maybe 85, maybe 75, maybe 95. You'll stand in a body that no longer obeys, among people who see you differently, facing questions you never imagined. When that day arrives, I want you to know you're not alone. What they don't say is this: when you finally accept the failing body and shortening time, something like peace arrives. Not joy exactly, but peace. I no longer worry about career, it's gone. I don't worry what people think. Most don't think of me. I don't worry about future mistakes. There isn't much future. I watch birds at my feeder and truly see them. I taste coffee instead of gulping it. I call my grandchildren because I want their voices, not obligation. I stopped rushing, 30 years too late, but I stopped, and that matters. If you're young, call your mother, your grandmother, not from guilt, but because one day you'll crave more memories of their voices. And if you're older, nodding because you know exactly what I mean, I see you. We see each other. In a world that has looked past us, that has to count for something.